All right. Yeah, Drescher. Yeah. Yeah. After that little wine incident, we need to restock on wine, and let's make sure the get those motherboards that Layla want. God, hold on a second. I've got a call. Jackie Noble, what the fuck? Hey, Dresh, I gotta call you back. Yeah. Anyway, get all that shit. Hurry back. All right. See ya. Switch his phone. Jackie, what?
Sir, I'm at the door.
They let you in? Of course they did. You've been here enough. All right. Fine. See yourself in.
Okay. And as Mr. Hardcastle puts the phone down, the door opens and Jackie lets himself in.
What?
There's some pretty important stuff going on that I thought you should know about.
Is it related to our little Vitae problems?
Yep.
Well, I guess that is kind of important. All right. Make it good.
Okay, so Jackie walks to the table and sits down and turns to Mr. Hardcastle and says, "So, what exactly do you know about what's going on in the city right now?"
Only that we can't feed on the soil. We have to be in the air or out at sea, or in God forbid in Jersey.
That's all.
Yes, that's all.
Okay, so you don't know why that is happening.
No, no, I don't.
Well, all that is connected to a woman named Maria in the East Harlem. She
Maria.
is, yeah,
Okay.
she's a member of that street gang called MS-13.
Max
Very,
leans back,
very,
thinks
very
about it for a
dangerous.
second. MS-13, MS-13. I got Street Influence 1. Yeah, that name kind of rings a bell.
Well, they are this very dangerous Hispanic street gang that walks on the streets with freaking assault rifles and shit.
They're walking around in East Harlem brandishing assault rifles, and no one's doing anything about it.
Yep. The police is staying out of that part of the East Harlem. They're not getting close. I confirmed that with my ally in the police force.
Huh. Maybe what they need is not a cop, but somebody a little more persuasive. How dangerous are these thugs, aside from the assault rifles? They have kindred support, lupine, what?
No, they are human, but they are extremely organized, well equipped, and as after my little run-in with them, they have real short tempers.
Well, street gangs are not known for the most smart or susceptible to common sense. So, now East Harlem, that's the sheriff's district, isn't it? Limey? Hmm. Well, I could just simply swoop in and charm the pants off of them. That is the sheriff's district, and just running in and saving the day.
Well, sir,
Probably.
that will be quite a difficult thing to do because of that woman and because of her powers. It's one of those people that you will try to do anything on them. It will bounce right back at you.
They're unaffected by disciplines, including mind control?
Yes. We have tried Dominate, we have tried Auspex, we have tried Presence. It all bounced back. It all bounced back at us. But only if that woman is near. Is near. That's
How
all
near?
because of that woman.
How near?
About near vicinity.
Like, does she have to be able to see them? Does she have to be, like, out there with them? Or can she do this
Well,
from a window?
last time that happened, she was out there with them.
She was with them. Okay. Okay. I think I see what you're saying here.
Well, the thing is, this gets all. This gets more and more complicated. I have been having visions since this problem started. And all these visions are slowly becoming reality.
Well, if that's the case, then remind me to show you my stock tips for the next month and see if you can get lucky there.
I can give it a shot.
So, what visions? Okay, these are supposed to be the clan of seers. What visions do you have for us?
Well, I already had 3 so far. One
How
of
many?
them,
You've had how many?
3 so far.
Okay, what were the visions and what came true?
The second one completely became reality about minutes after I had it. The first one was I saw the paradise, all its glory. Then I saw the pits of fire.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
Then I saw a leaf trembling. After that came the golden ones with feathers on their back. They were fighting.
Feathers on their backs.
They were fighting. They had flaming swords.
Ooh, flaming swords, I want one.
And then at this moment you can see Jackie sheds a single tear of blood from his right eye. I saw the sun. He was nailed and hanged up high. But
Jackie, Jackie,
saw him
Jackie,
come back.
Jackie! You can't even see that. Okay, let's try again. Max throws you a handkerchief. You're shedding a tear for the crucifixion story. Continue.
That was the first one.
So you saw our Lord and Savior crucified in a vision, and then you saw him in reality?
No, I just saw him coming back.
Well. Let me get caught up on my confessionals. It's been a while. All right, what was the second one?
The second one was I saw a parade of farewell. There was just bags of glitter walking around, but they had clothes on them. They had pieces of cloth wrapped around their heads.
Uh-huh.
They were carrying this fake throne, and on top of that, the death was sitting, and they were carrying it. I heard them chanting about death, striking their legs, and there was one person among all that was still had flesh and blood, and that was the maiden.
Mm-hmm.
I saw her, and she turned her head, and she saw me.
Uh-huh. So these
She told me
MS-13 goons, if their girlfriend's present, how do they respond to bullets?
I don't think they would respond to bullets in any kind of good way in any situation.
Well, one thing I've learned. This isn't the first time I've dealt with mortals that have had extra gifts. Sometimes they're resistant, sometimes they're not. It's kind of a mixed bag. One universal constant I found, though, is a bullet to the head deals with everybody. Whether they be Inquisition or just that random fucker on the street that knows what you are and nothing works on him.
Jackie reaches to his pocket, pulls a folded piece of paper, opens it up, and hands it to you.
Mm-hmm.
On the paper, you can see a very well-drawn portrait of a Hispanic woman.
How good's the picture?
It is not perfect, but it is quite well drawn.
Well, I guess if I start throwing around dominating myself, then I guess I know I'm nearby. Well, that might be a bad idea. Well,
This is the maiden.
Max will reach out and take the picture. He's kind of looking at it. Hmm.
Do you flip the back of the paper while you're
Yeah.
looking at it? Okay, then
Yeah.
you will see a symbol on the back of the paper that Jackie drawn, and there is a phone number next to it.
I throw the phone number into Google. What do I get?
You will get that number belongs to this place. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to write it down on the chat. The number belongs to this place.
Archdiocese. Max will look at that number. He types it into Google. Oh, that sucks.
Well, my third vision is gathering nice. I saw a field and an ocean of grass, and there was a white mane galloping through.
Mm.
On top of that mane, there was a man wearing a white light, almost as bright as the sun, but it was damaged in some parts.
Mm-hmm.
And then two more just like him joined him with other manes. And when I looked after them, I saw a peak, a high peak that they were headed to. And somehow I made to the peak before them. And The man was standing at the top of it. When I arrived there, she turned to me. She saw me again, but this time she was crying. Then Jackie pulls out another piece of paper. On this one, there's another drawing of that woman, but this time, that drawing, she's crying.
Oh, terrific. Max is looking at two pieces of paper. All right. Assuming you're not just a batshit crazy Mulcavian, or just another batshit crazy Mulcavian, and your visions actually are holding something, then my guess is there's a lot of Catholic iconography going on here in the background. So we may have a hunter with a martyr complex.
Well, sir, things are getting a lot more complicated.
They usually do with hunters.
Jackie points at the symbol on the back of that drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I made quite a lot of digging. I have been to every single library in Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
and I did my digging on the internet too, including the deep web. The only thing I could come up with that this symbol looks a lot like the Templar's Knight Cross.
Yeah, that looked familiar.
And when I actually found a picture, a drawing of I saw that they were wearing the same outfit that I saw in my visions.
That makes actually a surprising amount of sense. You know, kind
Also,
of morbid.
as you know, this number belongs to that place.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie points at the screen, and there have been 4 orders that has Italian priests inside them. Jackie pulls out another piece of paper and hands it to Mr. Hardcastle, and you can see that these names are written on it.
Oh, terrific. Cleric. It's an odd name.
Well, not long ago, the maiden was approached by 3 men that said they were priests, and they were talking Italian between each other. They wanted to take her away, and they left her a calling card that I found out this symbol and this phone number. This is as far as I found out.
Well, being the good little Catholic boy that I am, or was several years ago, the Knights Templar are a German order of knights that supposedly were wiped out, but the actual militant order branch of the order were killed. The rest of the Knights Templar just became regular Catholic priests of just another Catholic priest. It's an order. So what you're telling me, Mr. Noble, is that smacks of a lot of hunter nonsense. Specifically Inquisition. The really nasty ones, too.
Well, all I know, sir, that we need to keep her away from these men, because she's causing us trouble as she is, and if these men get their hands on her and teach her how to use her gifts, there will be a lot more trouble coming our way.
I am curious as to how this Maria is able to keep us from feeding on Vitae.
That I don't know, sir.
Well, it sounds like the easiest solution is just to put a bullet in her head and be done with it.
Well, there is one thing. After I saw her on my visions for the first time, and she saw me on that vision for the first time, I have this weird connection between me and her.
Hmm.
If I can concentrate enough, I can tell where she is.
Can you do so right now?
Yes. So Jackie just head concentrates real hard.
While you're concentrating, Max is getting on Google Maps and going to East Harlem.
Okay, so we are going to need our ST to give me something here.
Hey,
What are
Mr.
you trying to do?
He's using the connection between him and Maria to find out where she is right now.
Is Harlem, as always, at her home, trying to talk with his sister, her sister.
Okay. Jackie just puts his head up after a while. She is at East Harlem at her house right now.
And Maria is responsible for our inability to feed on Vitae.
Yes, sir.
And it looks like these Catholic hunters are trying to hook up with her.
Yes,
I mean, like, get them to work, not the other thing.
Yes, sir. And there's one more thing. Someone just called Maria and said that she won a visit to a spa place for 2. And that's what the message yesterday was about. She is getting sent off to Stanton Island, and we don't know who did that.
A luxurious day spa in Staten Island instead of the 500,000 we have sitting in lower and central Manhattan. Yeah, that makes total sense. All right.
Someone is clearly trying to ship her off to the Stanton Island.
Yes, but why send her to Staten Island? Why not just ship her off to, like, or Kansas or something?
We don't know.
All right. Well, This is a very damnable situation you put me in, Mr. Noble. The soldier in me just simply wants to take me, Drescher, load up, lock and load, and put 2 bullets between her and her sister's eyes and be done with it. But
Well, in order to do that, you need to get across the entire MS-13 gang, because it looks like she might be running it.
MS-13 gang.
And me being that had a close encounter with them, they're not a tribe to be trifled with, unless you have some serious firepower and numbers, of course.
Well, that's if we want to engage them head on. She's in the middle of street gang territory.
Which is also heavily protected, because not long before all this began, she was shot down in the street.
She was shot down in the street?
Yes, and she miraculously got up after about 30 minutes of being shot.
So she's immune to bullets too. Well, so much for that kick down the door method.
It seems that way, but I'm not sure.
I hate it when Occam's razor never works out. All right, well, MS-13, MS-13, they're Latino street gang. Latino street gang, Latinos, they're pagan Catholics, Catholicism, Catholic hunters, yeah. Yeah, this is looking like a terrible thing. All right, tell you what, I'll have word with the prince about this, coordinate notes, and
Yes, sir.
since you witnessed this firsthand, her getting back up miraculously,
No, sir.
who did?
I believe that would be the Bruja clan.
No, Bruja would never let themselves be kill-stealed, so I'll just take their word for it on that one. All right, I'm going to get in touch with the prince, and I guess the rest of the kingdom too. Probably need to know about this. See how he wants to proceed.
And
Yeah. Contacts that could even the score as far as firepower goes.
meanwhile, I will keep researching about this symbol and those three men and try to find out who they really are.
They're not Templar. They're a Catholic order. I mean, it's a Catholic order of priests. I wouldn't worry too much about discovering that. You need to be working on your haven, sir. Like we've been working on. You need to finish that.
Yes, sir.
Of course, if you keep getting visions,
Also,
I need to know
I
about those.
have a request to make.
Okay.
I would like you to press for my elevation to neonate status after all this is over.
Ah, moving up in the world. Actually, what you need to do is you need to put in a good word with the Harpies. Harpies are the ones that govern status, not Primogen. And since you're not even of my clan, I can't really speak for you anyway. But I do happen to be on a coterie with 2 Harpies, so I can put in a good word for you.
Well, I just have found a hidden Sabbat haven inside Manhattan. Also, on top of that, I'm actively helping about the situation we just talked about in the city.
Oh, don't misunderstand. I'm not reluctant or don't disagree with you in any way, shape, or form. But thing is, status isn't what Primogen do. Status is what Harpies do. But as I already said, I'll put in a good word for you. We'll get this all smoothed out with the Harpies. You should have your neonate status by now, or after I get through talking with them.
Thank you, sir.
But for now, I'm going to have to throw you out. I've got letters to write. Oh, God, why don't these princes get up to date? Tinder, Twitter, Skype, for God's sakes, anything. Anyway, thanks for bringing this to my attention, Mr. Noble.
No problem, sir. I thought that you had to know about all this.
Well, yeah, I did. If you see Mr. Bishop, you might want to inform him. He is Bruja after all, and he would probably be in the middle of it, especially with the MS-13.
Well, he was with me on that account with the MS-13, and he's the one that is keeping me safe when I had my first vision and wasn't really myself.
Well, it sounds like you owe him a boon already. Congratulations.
Well, that boon is paid off, I believe.
That was quick. Oh well, good turnaround time is appreciated. All right, go out. I've got work to do.
Yes, sir. And Jackie just...
And don't forget about that haven. Stay on top of that haven.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And Jackie just picks his hat up and
That fucking hat. I'm gonna burn that goddamn hat one day.
just lets himself out.
All right. Max will turn, pull out his laptop, kind of stare at the screen for a minute where there's the Archdiocese, which isn't really too far from Ventry territory, and just kind of stare at it. Of course, this would be a bunch of Catholics up here, naturally. Oh well. And Max gets to work. Clackety, clackety, clack.